Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
And not only y'all play the slowest things y'all can find, y'all play the whole song. Why? Huh?
Morning, everybody.
Button, then turn Breakfast Club because they want to wake up.
Morning, everybody. We are the Breakfast
Not
Club.
go back to sleep.
Let's get into front page news. Good morning. All right, let's start with the New York Knicks. Like we just said, NBA, the Knicks beat the 76ers 104-101. They were losing by 6 with 54 seconds left and came back and won that game. The Lakers lost to the Nuggets last night, 101-99. It was a buzzer beater, and the Nuggets won. Cavaliers beat the Magic 96-86. Now, Trump was back in court. And he's tired of being in court, man. He's saying this is just a witch hunt, and he needs to be on the road and actually making sure that people know that he's running for president.
Mr. Trump has pleaded not guilty to charges of falsifying business records to conceal a hush money payment, to cover up an alleged affair with a porn star, when prosecutors say he was in damage control after the release of the Access Hollywood tape just before the 2016 election. Quote, this case is about criminal conspiracy, arguing Mr. Trump colluded with his former fixer, Michael Cohen, to catch and kill negative stories to influence the election. Quote, then he covered up that criminal conspiracy by lying in his New York business records over and over and over again. Former President Trump's defense attorney noted he was not charged with conspiracy here. He attacked Cohen's integrity and said the former president was innocent, insisting he had nothing to do with the Cohen payments and adding, quote, I have a spoiler alert. There's nothing wrong with trying to influence an election. It's called democracy.
Listen, man, him saying that about, how he should be on the campaign trail, that's the best campaigning he can possibly do, because Trump controls the media. Every narrative is about him. Every storyline is about him. And none of this stuff is hurting him in any way. The people who support Trump are going to support him regardless. He's on the front page of every newspaper. He's every headline. I have no idea what President Biden did yesterday. And you know whose fault that is? The media.
Well, also they said that the gag order that he has might come into play a little bit and might be hurtful for him too, because he's still online posting. He's still on his own line posting, so they're saying that might come into play.
Prosecutor said he violated his gag order 10 times, and ain't nobody going to do nothing about it. So what does it matter?
No.
What does it matter? None of that stuff matters if you're not going to give these people the consequence, or give Trump the consequences and repercussions that he should get for violating a gag order. He violated it 10 times already, prosecutor said, and ain't nobody going to do nothing.
All right. Now, also, we tell you about Columbia University and the students protesting yesterday. Over 100 people were arrested, but now this is happening all over the country. It happened last night at NYU, and a lot of colleges are very nervous and going to online teaching. Well, like I said, it happened to a bunch of universities yesterday.
Tonight, tension across major American college campuses.
If you do not leave, you will be arrested.
Students setting up encampments from University of North Carolina to MIT. Harvard's yard closed until Friday.
We shall not be moved.
All of it as fury over the Israel-Hamas war boils over, with students expressing fear for their personal safety and concern for anti-Semitic hate speech, raising new questions about the line between hate speech and the First Amendment.
We're asking for the school to call for a ceasefire in Gaza.
This morning, police say at least 45 pro-Palestinian protesters were arrested at Yale University for violating Yale's policies and instructions. Police say they were later released. Meanwhile, at Columbia, today's classes were online only, with the university's president calling for a reset to de-escalate the rancor, while also adding more than 100 safety personnel to campus after more than 100 protesters were arrested last week.
I mean, they have the right to peacefully protest. That is their right.
Yeah, they're doing it all across the country. And like I said, the universities are getting nervous, so they're doing a lot of virtual classes. And we do know, I think there's like 3 weeks left or 2 weeks left in classes. So.
And they out there protesting what's happening in Gaza. They're calling what's going on in Gaza a genocide. And guess who they blaming for it? President Biden. I don't know how all of this is going to play out in November, but boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Next hour we will tell you about President Biden. He will be speaking at Morehouse College.
And people mad about that.
He's doing a commencement, and people don't want him
People are pissed off about that.
And we'll tell you about that when we come back. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset and you need to vent, call us up right now. Again, 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, in sports, if you're just waking up, the Knicks beat the 76ers last night, 104-101. The Nuggets beat the Lakers 101-99. Now, the Knicks were down, I believe, 6 with 54 seconds left, and the Lakers lost. I mean, it was a buzzer beater, and the Cavs beat the Magic last night, 96-86. All right, now. Morehouse College, HBCU out in Atlanta, their commencement speaker is President Biden. And a lot of faculty don't necessarily like this.
And students.
Raymond Enibokian is a sophomore at Morehouse College, the school he calls the best fit for him.
Camaraderie and brotherhood that comes along with just being a Morehouse student.
Next month, the historically black college will host its most prestigious visitor, President Joe Biden. According to the White House, Biden will deliver the commencement address on campus on May 19th.
It's not something that I feel like I would honestly even partake in that commencement. I don't see myself being there.
Enibokian sees Biden's visit as a campaign stop and a political tool in an election year.
At the end of the day, this is kind of like something that's on his political agenda to kind of maybe get more young black voters or something.
However you feel about Biden, having a president be willing to speak at a graduation is a tremendous honor.
Eugene Sledge supports the president's visit. The Morehouse sophomore says Biden's address could inspire him and others to go to the polls in November, but there are reported concerns among faculty and a potential for protests to break out surrounding the president's visit.
Oh, I like when I hear both sides in the news report because, things aren't all good, things aren't all bad. I always believe in the rule of 10. That's what I was always taught. 3 people going to like it, 3 people not going to like it, 4 people don't even know what the hell's going on.
Right.
So I like a news report that shows both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I think when they have those commencements and the fact that the president is speaking at your commencement is something that you remember forever. All he's gonna be doing is talking about positive things. He's gonna throw a couple of things in about election, but it's all about what you should be doing with your life from there. So I don't necessarily see that much of a problem with it.
But the pushback is a lot of the pushback is because of Biden's support for Israel in this war against Hamas. Because what the media is calling a war, those college kids are calling it a genocide. That's why they're on these college campuses protesting. Right. And I really want to know how this all is going to play out in November for President Biden, because I don't see how a lot of these young folks are going to switch gears come November after going so hard against President Biden. Like, how do you go, from protesting him on college campuses, saying he's funding a genocide, to now saying I'm going to switch and vote for him in November?
But are they protesting on HBCU campuses?
Oh, I don't know.
I haven't heard. That's what I'm asking.
I'm sure they are. Yeah, because when you read the article, it says that. Well, when you read the article, it says a lot of the pushback at Morehouse is because of increasing protests on college campuses. So I can only assume that they must be doing some protests on Morehouse as well.
All the stories we usually hear, we heard Yale, we heard Columbia, we heard NYU, we heard MIT, we heard North Carolina State, but we didn't. I didn't hear, but maybe they are.
I'm sure they are.
Now we got to talk about California banning Clear. Now you know what Clear is. Clear is a way to, I wouldn't say skip the line, but it makes it easier for you to go through TSA. It's something where you can either scan your eyes, you can scan your fingers. You don't have to pull out your ID in most cases. Now, this was done early on, and it was a way to get through the lines faster. But now it seems like everybody has Clear.
Yeah, I got them. I don't know if I want them to come to the front of the congregation this morning. It's a senator named Josh Newman. He's a Democrat. They don't got nothing better that they can be presenting.
Well, this is why they want to ban Clear.
Well, could California be putting the brakes on the ability to bypass TSA lines at the airport? The proposed bill, the first of its kind in the U.S., would ban screening company Clear from operating in airports in the state. Lawmakers say Clear effectively lets wealthier people skip in front of passengers who have been waiting to be screened by TSA agents.
Are you
Clear
serious?
charges members $189 per year to verify passengers' identities at airports and escorts them through security. The service is in use at roughly 50 airports across the U.S. So far, Clear has declined to comment on the proposed ban.
Do you realize how many things in this country are unfair because of the wealth gap? Not being able to afford health care is unfair. Not being able to afford housing is unfair. Not being able to make it a livable wage is unfair. Clear is $189 a year. That's probably the cheapest thing you can buy at the airport.
Absolutely.
The plane tickets cost crazy.
You're right.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Charging even to check your luggage sometimes.
What?
They charge to check your luggage. They charge you for a carry-on.
Yeah. Oh.
And so on some planes. No, I don't. I fly Delta.
Oh, yeah.
Them little convenience stores at the airport, you can run up $180 buying some peanuts in the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yep. So
$189 for some convenience a year? Come on, man. Come on, man. And then and your excuse is because it's unfair. It's unfair because of the wealth, basically because of the wealth gap in this country. Are you serious? There's a lot of bills that y'all could be passing to make things, a lot fairer for people who aren't doing,
but not clear,
doing well. But clear, the people who aren't doing well can't even afford to fly. That's what I'm talking about.
That is facts. All right. Well, that is front page news. You know they have clear at a lot of the parks and places like that as well too now. Where if you go into at the parks or fields or if the baseball field or anywhere where professional teams play, a lot of times they have clear as well.
Oh,
so you can get through the lines too, and it helps you through.
Oh, you mean when you're going into a game?
Yeah, if you're going to Yankee Stadium or you go to a lot of these stadiums or arenas, they have clear.
I thought you meant like a regular park. I'm like, what?
No.
We got a park at home. You're going to be in the backyard. I'm paying no $189 to be in no damn park.
All right. Now, when we come back, Bakari Sellers will be joining us. He has a book called The Moment, Thoughts on the Race Reckoning That Wasn't and How We Can All Move Forward Now. And we'll talk to Bakari when we come back, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.